Well, look at that, ladies and gentlemen. They did it. They actually did it. They're going to give me a really good Steve Dangle crash out video to watch. Mind you, guys, this man was already predicting they were going to beat the Rangers out of all the other teams. And guess what? Now this you just watched your favorite team lose 6 in a row. And on top of that, not only did the Rangers win, they won in regulation. Of all things, they won in regulation style. But what's going on, guys? Welcome to another edition of 407 Rangers. You guys already know it's your host, Raymond Tapia. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe, and a comment. Turn on your notifications when I'm about to go live, things like that. But yep, we're gonna talk about it because you guys already know I wanted this to happen, and it finally did. Not only did it happen, but it happened in a way that it would have just been the best bittersweet revenge, man. Now you guys know the New York Rangers haven't had a regulation win since November, and we're in fucking March, so that alone is a shocker. It's been 100 days, and ironically celebrating 100 years, they get a regulation win on the 100th day without one. So now you guys already know the Maple Leafs basically look like the New York Rangers of last year, where first half of the season they looked like they were gonna go right back into the playoffs like last year, and but the second half of the season just hasn't been there on their side at all, not one bit. I'd say probably like midway towards January, heading towards February. That's when you started to see the struggles happen for Toronto, and Toronto had no business being this bad, and I get it. They had a lot of injuries happen, and they don't have Mitch Marner. But yeah, if you guys see how much shit this guy was talking, Steve Dangle, about the Rangers all season, this is why I'm laughing even more about this win because if you guys watch this as Steve Dangle podcast, you would know that that's all they talk about most of the time when it comes to bad teams. They talk about how bad the Rangers are, and it's like, well, buddy, you just watched the team that you've always been talking about throughout the season beat your favorite team, and I know he's gonna crash out even more because, like I said, they haven't won a game throughout this whole week. They lost to the Devils, then they lost to the Rangers, and then they lost four more right before that. So it's like you don't even know what they're gonna do. I mean, I know they had a trade happen earlier today. They traded Nick Raw away for two draft picks. I believe it was a conditional first 2027 and then a fifth round draft pick for 2026 or 2027, one or the other. So that's the latest moves I know of so far from Toronto. But a lot more has happened as well as far, but besides the Maple Leafs, you guys know Dallas basically had a whole blockbuster trade happen today as well. So they've had a lot going on pretty much in the NHL. I'm trying. Yeah, they got Michael Bunting from Nashville, and of course you guys know Mackenzie Weegar from Calgary. He's going to Utah for Aldi Malta, Jonathan Cartanga, and three 2026 second round picks, and they belong to Utah, the Rangers, and Ottawa. So that's going to be interesting what they're going to do with that pick since that one originally belonged to the Rangers. We'll see how they go about that. And of course, you guys know the Avalanche also had did a couple of moves as well. Sam Garrard was traded to Colorado, and they traded away Brett Kulak. But more has happened as well for Colorado too. Boris Katchuk was traded for Roman Schmidt from the Minnesota Wild. And of course, Carter Murphy was traded to the Edmonton Oilers for a 2028 second round draft pick from Edmonton to the Chicago Blackhawks. Michael McCarron was traded to the Wild for Nashville, gets a 2028 second round pick. And then you had Cole Smith. He was traded from to the Vegas Golden Knights, and the Predators get Christopher Sadov and a 2028 third round pick. And then, of course, yesterday Tyler Myers was traded for 50% retention and a 2027 second round pick from 2029 and a fourth was traded to Vancouver. So Vancouver is definitely heading towards a rebuilding direction. And of course, you guys know earlier today, Nick Blandenberg was traded for a 2027 fifth. Jason Dickinson was traded to Edmonton for Colton Dog and Andrew Mangiapane, and a 2027 first round top 12 protected was sent to Chicago. So they're going to be in good hands. It seems like their rebuilding slash retool is going to pay off because they're going to probably bring in more younger guys for their future to build. And then, of course, you had the Golden Knights. They traded Nick Dowd. Washington got Jesper Vigman, a 2029 second, and a 2027 third that belonged to the San Jose Sharks. There's a lot more. And, of course, you guys know the Maple Leafs trade Nicholas Raw was traded to the Avalanche for a 2027 first, top 10 protected, slides to 2028 if so, and then a 2026 fifth, lowest of their three. So then the Florida Panthers had traded away Jeff Petrie. He went to the Minnesota Wild and they got back a 2026 seventh round pick, upgrades to a fifth if Minnesota wins two playoff games. So if Minnesota wins two games, it don't even matter which round. Florida gets, I believe, a fifth rounder instead of a seventh. So that's interesting. And then, of course, Jack Thompson was traded to the Canucks for Jet Wu. Jet Wu will be going to the San Jose Sharks. Mike Johnson, as you know, is now playing for the Stars. Predators got their 2026 third round pick from Seattle from the Stars. And then, of course, another one. This one was kind of crazy, too. Warren Fogle was traded to the Ottawa Senators from the LA Kings, which I don't know why Artemi Panarin went to the Kings. If it looks like they're heading towards a rebuilding direction if you traded away a guy like Warren Fogle. Then the Kings got back a 2026 second round pick that originally belonged to Buffalo, 2026 third, higher of Ottawa and Washington's pick. And then the last one for tonight, I believe so far, David Perron has been sent to the Red Wings. Ottawa got a conditional 2026 fourth from the Columbus Blue Jackets. Becomes a third rounder if Red Wings win the first round and Perron plays half the games. So these conditional picks are interesting with how they're pretty much going to go about how they'll get like a higher pick and or a better round pick. So yeah, this is interesting. I mean, honestly, ever since they did the LTIR, it did kind of like mess with the way you can market these players and how you can get better assets and bigger names sent to teams because of the whole no trade clauses and no movements, and now this with the whole like LTIR system and how it's set up, you can't really do too big of a blockbuster trade. But yeah, we'll talk about the Rangers. As you guys know, they beat the Leafs in the Garden. They were outshot by the Leafs by 7. But yeah, surprisingly, the Leafs were playing more physical than the Rangers tonight too. They had 27, Rangers only had 22. The Leafs did win a couple more faceoffs with, as I told y'all, we know Vinny Trocheck and Sam Carrick, which we'll get to Sam Carrick because apparently he's been moved to Buffalo, but we don't know exactly what the deal is yet. From what I've seen from Elliot Friedman, it seems like Sam Carrick will be going to the Buffalo Sabres, but I have not gotten like any reports or updates as to what the return is if Sam Carrick happens to go to Buffalo. We'll wait and see because the same thing happened yesterday. These guys were hyping up the whole Colton Parayko trade, and they thought he was going to Buffalo, and it turns out he rejected the trade. So now, like, he is aware that St. Louis is trying to move him, so he's pretty much going to be in control of where he goes. But as of right now, Colton Parayko will not be going to the Buffalo Sabres. That has been pretty much on, like, that's out the window. But anywho, yeah, for the Rangers, Yeah, they didn't do too bad. They had a power play goal as well. And look at that. With no JT Miller and no Trocheck, ironically, the younger guys, the AHL players, mind you guys, because Chmelar made his debut today and he actually did good too. He had his first goal, first NHL goal, playing his first night with the Rangers. So if these younger guys are going to keep doing this, I don't mind it at all. Because it seems like to me, like, this is the kind of core we're going to probably need if they want to be going towards a better direction. So I'm not mad at it at all. Now the Leafs did draw two penalties. Rangers only drew one, and then for your penalty minutes, the Leafs had four, Rangers had two. Block shots, the Leafs had 24. So surprisingly, the Rangers were playing good defensively today too. They were out for checking a little bit, but they weren't puck chasing as much. It seemed like to me they were puck watching more than anything. For your takeaways, the Rangers had five, the Leafs had three. Giveaways, the Rangers were at 13, the Leafs were at 12. But yeah, as y'all know, at first it seemed like the Leafs were gonna easily walk away with this win, but the Rangers did fight back, and then they didn't look back ever since they had tied the game and then gained the lead from there. Because you guys know, like, as soon as the puck dropped, Matias Maccelli hits a goal instantaneously, and you guys already know. When you saw that, we all were like, here we fucking go. And so it begins. But surprisingly, I was like, you know what? I know this team sucks, but let me see what happens. Let's see how they react to this quick goal that was answered as soon as the puck dropped. So as y'all know, Nylander had the assist on that play, and then Will Cuylle does answer right back at 6:45 in the first period. Braden Schneider happened that shot it. Will Cuylle tipped it in, and just like that, the Rangers were tied. But then for a little bit, the lead was kind of taken away, just for a little bit, because Easton Cowan then scores a goal in the second period. The Leafs are up a goal. Matthew Nice and John Tavares had the assist on that play as well. But right after, on the power play that was drawn from the Maple Leafs with the penalty, Vladislav Gavrikov did score the goal. It was kind of like a chippy one up close. Taylor Radish and Brozinski had the assist on that play. And Alexis Lafrenière right after in the third period, he scored himself a goal, which I'm sure everybody is happy to see that. Mika Zibanejad had the assist on that play as well. And surprisingly, right after that, that tie goal from Gavrikov, Lafreniere happens to give the Rangers the lead, and from there, the Rangers just didn't stop because right after Jaroslav Chmelar, one of the most surprising like young guys tonight out of nowhere scores a goal for the Rangers, which makes it his first NHL career goal in his Rangers debut tonight, which is pretty cool to see in the third period. And just like that, shockingly, the New York Rangers were up 2 goals in the third period. But they weren't done because right after that, with the rebound goal, Mika Zibanejad scores a goal of his own, giving him his 25th goal of the season. Alexis Lafreniere had the assist. Adam Fox did as well in that play. And just like that, the Rangers were up 3 goals. Now, you guys know the Leafs. I don't know why they added an extra attacker in the 5 minute mark, which was like, what was the point of that shit? You guys knew right after they added the extra attacker at that moment within the 5 minute mark, you kind of knew like they were getting desperate and they pretty much had like no answers to figure out how they can get back the momentum. And it seemed like the Rangers just pretty much blew the balloon out in the air for the Maple Leafs because right after Will Cuylle hits the dagger with the empty netter at 17:09 in the third period, and just like that, you can actually get your weight lifted off your shoulders and actually say, we're going to actually have a regulation win in this economy. So, yeah, surprisingly, this team pulled it off. Didn't have to go to overtime, didn't have to go to a shootout, and the Rangers win. So, as y'all know, tomorrow the deadline is at 3 p.m., and we'll be on the trade watch as well. Because, as y'all know, Carrick is going to be a Saber. We don't know yet where Vinny Trocek will be going. Since he was healthy scratch tonight, it definitely is kind of giving like the hints that he's more than likely going to be getting moved on from the New York Rangers. And honestly, I won't think like Chris Drury's gonna bluff and not move him. I mean, he moved Artemi Panarin, so if Artemi Panarin got traded, I'm pretty sure Vinny Trocheck can easily get traded this season as well. I don't think he's gonna hold back, wait till like the off season or things of that nature. I think he's just gonna get it done and over with since he got it done with Panarin, and we're just gonna see what happens from there. I don't even know where he's gonna go exactly. I mean, from what I've seen, now they're saying the Pittsburgh Penguins are interested in having Vinny Trocheck play for the Penguins, so it'll be like a hometown story because you guys know like Vinny Trocheck is originally from Pittsburgh, so it'll be interesting to see what they do because the Penguins are a pretty good team right now and they're more likely going to be buyers, not sellers. So we'll see what they do with that. But you guys know they do have a lot of first round picks, so the Pittsburgh Penguins can easily give the Rangers tons of first round draft picks and a couple of younger guys for Vinny Trocheck if they really wanted to. So we'll see what happens when it comes to the bidding war. It's either going to be Detroit or Pittsburgh landing Vinny Trocheck on the team. So we will see what happens from there. But as always, y'all, I really do appreciate y'all for watching because I am going to call it a night soon so I can be up and early and be pretty much, on the radar and on the lookout for what's going to be happening with all these trade moves and deadlines happening. You guys already know with everything I've been telling y'all around the league. There's been tons of trades happening, so you guys know a lot more will be happening tomorrow. We'll just have to wait and see what happens, who Chris Drury is going to move, what he's going to acquire. So let's see what happens. Let's see if Chris Drury is going to actually, regain some forgiveness points with tomorrow's deadlines, acquisitions. And as always, y'all, thank y'all for watching. I will have the highlights on the way. If anything happens, like, sooner, you guys know we'll go live and talk about it. But as always, thank y'all for watching. And just tune in tomorrow because I definitely will be on the trade watch and I will go live, let y'all know, like, who gets moved and whatnot. And the Rangers do play the Devils on Saturday at the Prudential Center, so they will be on the road. We'll see how that turns out. It's going to be their first game of the series for the Devils, which is crazy. Out of all the teams, like they didn't see the Devils the whole season, and it's going to be their first time Saturday. So we'll see how that turns out. But as always, y'all, thank y'all for watching. Really appreciate y'all supporting and hitting that like as always. And I'll see you guys tomorrow early in the afternoon. And we're going to see which Ranger stays, which one goes. It's going to be pretty much a New York Ranger tomorrow.